I just want to take a few minutes to share with you some terms that we use in traditional Chinese medicine, or I call it TCM for short. And these are terms that you might hear me use in the clinic or on a video or in a class. So I just find it helpful to go over what they mean because it actually comes from the Chinese language, and so that might be unfamiliar to us. So I'm going to switch over and share my screen so you can see the words in print. And let me go to full screen mode. Okay, there we go. So the first word I want to share about is qi, Q-I or C-H-I, so you pronounce that qi, or you might also see it, the Japanese form is ki, K-I. And this just means our energy, our life force, our vitality. You would have seen this I have the examples here of Tai Chi, that's a slow moving martial art, Qigong, which is energy breath work, or Reiki, which is a healing modality that uses hands manipulating the energy. And so all three of those, CHI, QI, and KI, are the same Qi that we're talking about. Now, a lot of people might interpret this as a woo-woo energy kind of thing, but it really is how things function. It's not necessarily something you see. You can't really see qi, but you see the effects of it. Just like if you think about the wind, you don't literally see the wind. You see the effects of the wind. It blows the trees, it knocks over the garbage can, you see the movement of it. So it's the same thing with our energy. But that also translates down into different forms of it. For example, you have your cellular energy. That's where, if you remember from biology class, the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, actually converts all of the various nutrients into energy, calories that we use in our body. Energy can come from the form of air. So as we breathe it into our lung, that's our lung qi. We convert it to oxygen that our body then uses, or a nutritive qi, and that is food that we take in that we convert into nutrients that we then can use to form energy. So it really is a very tangible kind of a thing, but we use it in a lot of different ways. So it can mean different things depending on the context. Now the next one is yin and yang. And this is a way of, everybody might have seen this symbol before, but this is just a way of describing how the world works and how things are interrelated, how they interact with each other, and they depend on each other. One forms into the other. But in general, it just looks like a list of opposites. So you can see here, yin refers to different things like night, lower form. Yang would be day, upper function. So yin and yang, night and day, lower and upper, form and function. Female and male, dark and light, cold and hot, downward, upward, stillness or movement. So as you can see, they sound like opposites, but they're also in relationship to each other. Let's see, so for example, let's take the body because we're working with healthcare. And the head is yang, it's upper. The feet are yin, they're lower. But the back of the head would be more yang, and the facial area would be more yin in relationship to each other. And another one that we use a lot in traditional Chinese medicine would be the reference to cold or hot. If your body is feeling cold, that's a yin situation. If your body is feeling hot, you feel heat rising, that's more of a yang situation. So each converts into the other. Day goes into night, which goes again into day. And the little dots in the middle, if you see the black dot here or the little white dot within the black, that means there's a little bit of the other existing within the one. So for example, night turns into day. So it will start becoming lighter and lighter. But before that, the term darkest before the dawn, that's a little bit of yin left within the night before the yang starts rising, before the daylight starts rising. So yin and yang are just terms that we use to define what we see in the world, in our health, in our bodies, and so on. And then lastly, I want to go over acupuncture point names. So there are what are called channels or meridians on the body, and that would that's how we find where the points are that we're going to use in acupuncture or acupressure. And each channel is named for an organ with a couple of other special channel names, but we won't go into that right now. And so, for example, there's a kidney channel, and there's a large intestine channel or a heart channel. And when we refer to those organs, they're always written with a capital letter because it means more than just that literal anatomical heart. There's more to the heart channel and the heart energy, the heart chi, than just the physical anatomical heart. So you always see that with a capital letter. And then we abbreviate them. So heart would be HT, kidney would be KD, and there's a number assigned to it, and that would go according to the number on the channel. So each one of these dots on this little character here, on this image of the back of a person's head, each one of those would have a number assigned to it. And that's just used for how we locate it. But when you see me refer to acupuncture points, you might see KD6. That means kidney channel 6. And you don't need to know all the ins and outs of that point and what that means. But if you're looking up a location, that's a way you can Google it, acupuncture KD6, and it will help you you can find a Google image that shows you where that point is located. The other thing to know with the channels, if you look at this picture here, is it can look a little different to what we're trained to see in Western medicine and biomedicine. So, for example, take this long orange line here on either side, and that is the UB channel, the urinary bladder channel. And you look at that and you're like, how in the world does that have anything to do with the urinary bladder? And that really, to know more about that, you would have to go all the way back to embryology, how the embryo develops from the very first cells and then expands out, and how things are created and generated within that embryo. That's where these channels grew from. And then in our adult human body, they just grew out from there. So just run with it, go with that. But I want you to know about the channel names, because that'd be an easy way to Google if you're looking up how to find acupressure point locations. So I thought that would be helpful. All right, thanks.